Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Hey, everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back. We're live.
I'm Spencer, your co-host, and of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist, Nas.
Dr. Nas. Cleanly shaven, powdered, bald-headed Nas.
What's clean shaven if you have a full beard?
Clean shaven on the head. You see the shine on this shit?
Yeah, it's pretty shiny.
It is shiny. Lie. I feel so young when I shave it.
I feel like a newborn baby.
I feel like I'm 32.
Even though I feel like babies have more hair than you.
Oh my God. My best friend has a 4-month-old and she has a birthmark on her head. Oh. And the hair only grows on the birthmark currently. It's so funny as shit. She's gonna have the best comb over.
Nothing like a comb over at 4 months old.
I know, it's gorgeous. Makes me feel good about my hair.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Anywho, remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. That's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, today we have a very special guest. I was lucky enough to actually talk to this guest before in my previous role. She is a longtime leader in youth and women's sports. She spent decades building pathways for coaches to grow, lead, and thrive. She's currently the program director for Coaching Her at the University of Minnesota's Tucker Center for Research on Girls and Women in Sport. And she brings 35 years of experience as a coach, coaching education, leadership development, and equity in sport. All with the belief that strong coaching cultures are built through mentorship and community. Please welcome Alicia Pelton to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
yeah. Done a lot.
That's a lot of shit. 35 years.
Sometimes 35 years. Look, sometimes when I get to like make these things and read them off, I'm just like, holy shit. Like, damn. Yeah, like we get a lot of great guests that do a lot of great things, especially when it comes to just overall the world in general. And so happy to have you. And I think this is going to be a fun convo. So, yeah.
What we already talked about, 35 years. You look good for 35 years of working. You already said you were stressed the hell out. So, damn.
You only took you didn't even take like a full year, I bet off. You're just like, I gotta get back into it.
Oh, I did. I took up 1 full year.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Full year, and I allowed myself that year.
That's awesome.
Can't wait to talk about that. Because the thing is the allowed myself, right? Because a lot of my humans are like, they just guilt and sit on themselves so much. We're going to get in. It's going to be a good pod.
They shit on themselves.
They shit on themselves.
It's so hard, yeah.
It's hard, man. The guilt.
Makes anybody go. All right. So the movie that we're actually covering today is Bad Moms. Featuring Mila Kunis, 2016 pick, right? Movie?
Yeah. 2016, yep.
Okay. So a few topics that we're going to be covering. We're going to be talking about what it means to be what's it mean to be a super mom? What does that mean? Doing all the things for the kids, but also providing money, being the household person. Like it's all so much. I've plenty of experience that with my mom, single mom, raised 2 kids on her own, being financial supportive and everything else that she needed to be, doing these PTA meetings where she's just like, this is horse shit. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna talk about PTAs. I don't know. Like me and Nas, we're not like we don't have kids, right? So we don't know. We
We're
don't
also not
know.
women. So like we don't know a lot of things that she getting ready to lay down right now.
This
Wow.
is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
It's gonna be a first.
We're going to be talking a lot about these things, and they're going to be great topics. But we're also going to be talking about how, especially when it comes to women and just value and not feeling valued, especially when it comes to sports, just in life in general, you're just not feeling valued from the people around you. And we're also going to be talking about just leaving or quitting something because of these certain norms or rules that you really have to abide by. And sometimes that can be very stressful, and and you have other things going on in your life and you just say, I'm good. I'm not going to do this. So we're going to be talking about that. Nas, anything before we get into the show?
A lot of these topics are going to be pretty familiar for a lot of our listeners and our followers, my clients, right? And you're going to talk about a lot of burnout, a lot of shame, a lot of fatigue, some failure feelings. You're going to talk about, I assume we'll hit on some things of like, I don't know if this will get her in trouble, but different things on how patriarchy shows up in the workplace, how misogyny shows up in the workplace and on the field, on the court,
Yeah.
and how that causes a lot of just turmoil, distress, kind of self-disgust, but also disgust in the SIP system. And then you don't want to participate in the system and then you quit, like you said. So I assume we'll get into some of those things. Excited for the girlies to listen to this, and I'm excited for some of the men to listen to this to get educated on some shit that if they don't already know, you about to get woke. You're about to get woke.
You were asleep, but now you about to be awake.
You about to listen. Mm-hmm. All right. You just heard all the dudes exit the podcast.
And time to put on Joe Rogan.
Oh my God. Where my train set at? Mm-hmm. No, they're still here. They're still here. They still rock with us.
Yeah.
But excited to talk about some of these things. Great topics. And the excitement around just women's sports in general, but also trying to empower some women as well too. So let's get into it. Let's have some fun with these bad moms. Even though I'm sure they're good moms. I hope they're good moms. I kind of forgot the show. I feel like there's a lot of drinking and horseplay going on. It's fine. Well, welcome to the real world.
Just a couple.
You just need it. The one lady, and then we'll start. The one lady, she's like in the supermarket. She's like, she's got it together. The cardboard cutout. I'm like, she looks as I'm fucking meth. Like, that is the epitome of Instagram. It looks like she knows what she's doing. She has no fucking clue what's going on, and she hates her entire life. So let's be real. Instagram is a lie. I'm currently very sad. I'm joking. Okay, let's start the show. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Okay.
Did she say whoop whoop?
No.
You got to say whoop whoop. Oh,
Okay.
she said it. There we go. Thank you, man. That was perfect.
It's too real.
It's too real. It's all a lie. We're all depressed.
I'm Amy Mitchell, and I'm a mom. I had my first kid when I was 20 years old, and I've been running late ever since. My days are filled with dropping the kids at school.
Love you.
Then racing to work where I have meeting after meeting after meeting. I usually end up eating a shitty lunch at my desk. And I try to work out once a week. Ugh, why do I suck at Zumba? Most days I race back to school for the kids' plays and poetry readings and class projects. Mom! Which I'm always late for. And then there's PTA meetings and volunteering and parent-teacher conferences. Jesus, Miss Wiggins fucking hates me. At least once a day, I feel like the worst mom in the world. And I cry in my car. Then I shuttle the kids to piano lessons and soccer games and dance classes and doctor's appointments before my daily trip to the grocery store. Ugh, this chick seems like she's got it all figured out. But I feel like I'm screwing up all the time. Still, I love being a mom.
Here, baby, there's your organic turkey club sandwich. And Dylan, here's your peanut-free peanut butter for lunch.
What's peanut-free peanut butter?
I have no idea. Baby, here's your American History Project I made you. I hope you like it. I love you. Mwah. I love you.
Oh my God, Mom, not so loud. I love my baby so much.
God, they hate me.
Hey. Hi, guys. For those of you who have been living under a rock, I am Gwendolyn James. I am the president of the PTA. But most importantly, I am the proud mommy to two beautiful daughters, Blair and Gandhi. Now, I called this emergency PTA meeting to address an issue that radically affects the safety of our children. The bake sale.
Is this a joke?
Now, this is a list of the toxic ingredients that are absolutely banned from the bake sale. No BPA, no MSG, no BHA, no BHT, plus no soy, no sesame, and of course, no nuts or eggs or milk or butter or salt or sugar or wheat. Okay?
Sorry, what ingredients can we use?
Anyway, I will be putting together a special bake sale police force that will monitor the food, that will destroy any offensive treats, and prosecute the wrongdoers.
Yes.
So, who will be my first volunteer for the bake sale police force? I think we're gonna have Amy Mitchell.
What?
That's what you get for being late, sweetie.
No.
What's that now?
I've had a really long day. I've been bruised and burned, knocked unconscious. I screwed up my daughter's first day at soccer, and I hand searched my son's poo for a pen cap. And my poor dog has vertigo. I mean, who knew that that was even a real thing, you guys? God, I'm drowning at work, and my boss is a fucking moron. And 3 hours ago, I may or may not have committed a felony hit and run. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I'm done. I quit.
Hey everyone, I wanted to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Two Nerds Candle Company. Not only do they have great products, but they are also giving back to a great cause. You can tell that they take a lot of pride in making their candles. My favorite is Spock's Monday Coffee. They are also donating 10% annually to support Women in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You can use our code DSP or go to our link tree to get 20% off your entire order. We think that this company is great, and we think you will too. So go check them out.
And we're back again.
Hey, we're back. We're live. I'm not even real funny. We're as live as women's sports right now.
Hey,
Shit is hot. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff going on, a lot of money coming in, and I feel like we got a lot of awesome statistics to talk about today too, and a lot of excitement around women's sports. So hell yeah, we're live today.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Alicia, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. And so my first question for you is, we've talked about it a little bit, but you spent over 35 years in youth and women's sports. How do you keep on being passionate about that after that amount of time?
That's a really good question because it kind of ebbed and flowed. I'd say sport kind of is it was my identity as a kid, right? So somebody growing up with ADD and dyslexia, and I didn't really, my mom knew I had it. It's throughout my family, but it really didn't get tested correctly until I was a senior in high school when I tested a third grade vocabulary lab.
Oh shit.
Well, I had manipulated my way through school as the youngest of four. I don't think I didn't read a book until I was in college, and sport was everything to me. It kept me in school, everything. And so as I kind of went on, I went on to college and I ran track at Wisconsin and I got injured. And the injury was they told me they didn't know because they don't do tests on women. They don't do research on women. And they told me, the doctor told me, either you can have children or you can continue running. Well, what do you do? Like I walked away, right? Well, come to find out later, nothing to do with that, right? But so that really hurt. So I lost my identity and I kind of like couldn't figure it out. I was dating a hockey player and a baseball player in college. I ended up marrying him. We went,
He's
I
good
followed.
looking too. He's very good looking. Hockey and baseball.
No,
Yeah,
I hit that.
Yeah, he had a D1 school. He won a national championship in hockey. He
National
was,
championship.
yeah,
Okay, Alicia.
he was good. Um, He was a good athlete. But so, I mean, I ebb and flow throughout and I kept losing my identity because sport was it. And I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And then I'd always somehow something, the universe would bring me back to sport. And here's a great story. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a pro basketball player. I'm standing in the kitchen, 10 years old. My mom looks at me and I remember it vividly. And she's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, duh, pro basketball player. And she looked at me and she hates this story. And she looked at me and she goes, but you can't. Like, and she didn't know any better back then. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I will tell you from that moment on, I changed the way I looked at life and what I could do. And strangely, we end up in Sweden, married. He's playing in the Swedish Elite League. I still love basketball. I ask the neighbor if they have outdoor basketball courts because I didn't see any. He said, do you play basketball? I said, yeah. And he goes, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of women that play. And I'll pick you up on Tuesday. Why don't we come play? And I said, oh my God, that would be so awesome. Like in Sweden, right? So I go and we were playing and they're doing drills and it's super fun. I probably haven't played for like a year or two. And afterwards, this man walks up and he's the husband of one of the women. And he's like, hey, we want to offer you a spot on the team. And I'm like, like what team? And it was the Swedish Elite League tryout.
Holy shit.
He's on a team in the Swedish Elite League as a pro player. Like I got to play for a year. And then I had to quit. I had to give it up because my husband at the time wanted to go back home to the US to play hockey. And he made so much more money than I did that I didn't have that, so I had to give it up. And so I kept like ebbing and flowing between, my career and of sports. And so then I went in and I started a business and I franchised it. And then we adopted a baby girl and he wouldn't help me out. And I was trying to do it all and it was just too much. And I sold the franchises to Rick to have the daughter. And then, I tried, I went to Rush Soccer and I was a marketing director and I taught PE at a Montessori school and I was the manager of the hockey team and I did everything I possibly could in sport with all of my experiences and they always just kept pushing me off. Like, you can do these little kids, you can do this, you can, but never anything of value. And I tried and tried, and tried. And then finally one day, I got an invitation to get inducted into a Hall of Fame, and I took the time to reflect. And I realized that my experiences, because I had been a high school coach too in LA, girls basketball and track, and I'd done just a ton of stuff in sports. And I realized my experiences were just so much different than like my brothers and the other inductees. And so in that moment, I decided to vocate the rest of my life into gender equity and athletics. And I didn't know what that meant. And I gave a great speech about breaking down busted the door, breaking down the walls and how different my life was than everybody else's. And they just loved it, but that I didn't know where to go from there. Yeah. And I was lost. And finally, I trusted the universe and thank God for my sister teaching me this, trust the universe, right? Just let go and have faith. And I chose to go to grad school at age like 40 at Northeastern to get a sports leadership. I mean, who does that? I can't get any work to begin with that I could make a living off of, like a true living. And I decided to go further into it. And when I got into grad school, I just started questioning everything because it was all about men and men's pro basketball and men's pro football and college men's sports. And I came prepared to every single discussion about women's sports and decided to do my capstone project. And that was this deal. That sealed the deal is I did a capstone project and my professor said, it's got to be about girls and women because you're so passionate about this. And so I emailed 35 women and said, do you want to have a discussion about like moving this forward? And I had 150 women email me back within 3 weeks. And then from then on, I just put my head down and I spoke up and I started to get loud. And then crazy thing happened. Like I'm trying to consult. I'm like doing all this. I'm just pushing forward because I know at this point I'm going to end up in a divorce. I'm getting divorced within years. Like we were still together, but we're getting divorced. And I was asked to become a high school athletic director at the third largest high school in Wisconsin with the most state championships to stabilize it because there were 9 athletic directors in the 4 years before me.
Damn.
But I did that much work and then I just kept going and then that took me down. I took a year off.
They're on their 10th and 11th and 12th athletic director.
But I mean, I don't know. I think it's partly because of sport that you learn resilience when you're an athlete, but you also, I came up from a family and I have a lot of empathy and a lot of compassion and I see a lot and I see people's stories and I see that you can make change. One person can make change. So I did it.
Hell yeah. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. What the hell was going on when you were running track and they thought that they had that injury? What was the injury? They're like, your uterus don't work no more. What, like, I don't what?
You ran so much, your uterus.
It don't fill out.
Uterus, by the way. So it was, every 15 minutes into my run, I'd get this intense pain and they couldn't figure out, they did surgery, I had endometriosis.
Okay.
And so they thought they couldn't quite pinpoint it.
Okay.
So they said, we think it has to do with your uterus. And we think that if you continue running, you're going to do something to your uterus. Now, I feel like I'm from like the 1930s when they said you couldn't as a female do anything because it would hurt your chance of having kids. I mean, that's where, when I look back, I can't even believe you make
choices based on the information you have. Yep.
And also these are like medical professionals and they're giving that advice, which is not good at all. Like that's terrible advice they gave you, but yeah.
I didn't know that they didn't do research on female athletes. Like I know now that they just, 8 years ago started doing concussion on girls and women that we concuss differently, right? And we're just starting to study like menstrual cycles and how that impacts, right? And how we injure differently. It's just getting studied.
Yeah.
It's 2026. So yeah, it sucked, but here I am. So I don't want this to happen to my daughter or to anyone else. So I can make that change. I can.
It's about to be a good talk. It's about to be a good talk. All right.
So like just hearing that from your story, it just sounds like you gave up things in order for others to be happy while not being able to like fulfill your own happiness, right? Like you couldn't stay in Sweden to play, pro ball. That was your dream to do. You moved out of the States. I mean, they tried to tell you like, if you run too much, that's it. You're not going to have a kid. And so it's like, and then you had to give that up. And so I guess my question to you is just like, when did you start saying like I'm going to make myself happy instead of trying to please others?
I think it started with that Hall of Fame induction, which somewhere around 2013 maybe, I can't remember exactly. That's when it started, and I started to realize I have to think about me. And then it took a while. I got to a point where I was taking care of so many other people and other things, and I couldn't truly be who I was, that I was starting to have panic attacks, couldn't drive at night, couldn't go outside at night. I was really struggling because I was married at the time, but I was fully raising the kids and I was trying to find who I was. And it was really challenging. And it's interesting because so many women, especially of my age, exact same.
Where were you raising the kids? Was this in California or was this Wisconsin?
No, this is, well, I had my son was born in California and my daughter's adopted from California, but it's no, they were raised in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay. And so that's That's where you did most of like the mothering and all that stuff and having your job occupation and all that? Okay. How old are the kids now?
21 and 28.
You guys have experience. Okay.
Yeah, my son is a pro hockey player, and my daughter is a senior at college playing. She did play lacrosse for a while, but she's playing hockey. Can't get away from that sport. I tried.
Apparently not. Can you get like one basketball player?
No.
You know what's a good story is my daughter, I took her to the Y. My son was pretty good, but it was the same time as hockey. But I took my daughter and to the Y, and she's a great athlete. And first day, she's on basketball and she's doing so good. And she looks over at me and I have like this huge smile on my face. And at the end, she puts the ball down and she looks at me and she's like, nope. Because I was smiling and all excited. She didn't. I was like, you little, oh goodness.
You should have crushed her. You should have, you'll never be nothing. What? You'll never go to the pros.
You're just seeing her just like crossing other people over, about to put up the trophy. And then she's like, nope.
No.
Oh, that was painful.
Yeah.
Sucks.
That sucks.
But I will be super grandma, maybe, and then watch those children play basketball and tennis.
There you go.
You're like future Milwaukee Buck over here. Let's get it.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
I had another question. So when you're talking about all this, like the science that's coming out, and I've been seeing some of the science about concussions, and there's a lot more information when it comes to like neurodivergent women, so ADHD, autism, all this, and how it affects them, how it affects their menstrual cycle, how we know that all these autoimmune disorders are like 80% actually women. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Like, what is going on with women's bodies? What is going on with women's athletes? You start looking at the studies with like women's hip posture, knees, the ACL tears, and you're like, okay, something ain't adding up. What do you think the advancement is? Is it that there's more women in these positions, or it's just like we have to help these people because they are coming into the medical doctors? What do you think is advancing, actually paying attention to women like medically?
I think it's kind of like it's the demand. So it's kind of like how the women's sports market's working right now.
Okay.
So when you're looking at the Caitlin Clark effect, okay, and just basketball in general, I don't think it's just her, but like basketball in general and that sports scene at the college and the pro levels and with the Olympics. That is not mainstream media. That is not mainstream funding. That has changed that. What has changed that, and the data will show this, are the Gen Z and the millennials. And so those are the current parents too of youth, of girls who play. But most of the Gen Z and millennials actually had decent sports experiences, not like mine where I was 3 with Title IX hit, right? So I didn't have all the sports. I just had some. But they're the ones who are demanding, and they're the ones that are live streaming. They're the ones that are buying the products that these female athletes are endorsing. They're the ones. So as they see that, Deloitte and McKinley and Ernst & Young are starting to report on this and what they're seeing at the return of investment for companies investing. And so now you've got some major players like Serena Williams' husband. You've got the woman who, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, who just did 30 million in US soccer to start to do research on women in soccer and their physical beings, right?
Okay.
And so I think that's what's happening, is that we have, and this is the first couple of years of uptick of actually girls' sports participation. It's an uptick in girls and a downtick in boys. So there's change coming. And I think they're starting to realize that it is more expensive to do research studies medically on women and girls because of the menstrual cycle. So all the data that you've seen over the years, even probably calorie intake, it's always done on men because menstrual cycles give variant.
It's a variable you can't control for. Right? Yep.
So they didn't do the studies. It's just more expensive to do the studies. So they're getting investors to do it.
There you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know, especially, I got to get to know you from the interview I did when I was at Rush Soccer. But could you just give us like the lowdown of what is coaching her, and how have you, how's that really affected you, like in your career so far?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do after becoming an athletic director and then taking that year off because it doesn't really translate to much. Most people don't know what an athletic director does, even though it's the most intense
Yeah.
job, that multitasking that you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
But coaching her is like a toolkit that's powered by Nike and some of Dove with body confidence sport, where we upskill coaches, parents, leaders on coaching girls and creating more safe and inclusive environments. And currently we have like modules, like online modules, and everything we do, by the way, is free. So everything's free. But we have modules for them to take with foundational modules that really gets to the core of the experience of girls, which is stereotypes, biases, barriers, supporting girls' needs, recognizing their hidden identities. Do they have an abusive relationship, boyfriend, period? How do they see themselves? There's a lot of hidden identity with girls. We have a menstrual course and, like understanding the menstrual cycle, not for the elite athlete, for the girl, right? Understanding what menstruation is and then how to create a menstrual friendly environment. Because most coaches don't know that they have to have menstrual products and what are menstrual products. And do they need to have like a place for them to change their tampon or their pad or, have an extra pair of shorts or don't have white shorts for the team uniform.
Yes. Yes.
One takeaway, take that way. And then we have body confidence sport, which is, the number one reason why girls drop out of sport is because of body confidence. And so then what we're doing is we have related content, we write articles, we give all of our educational material to organizations like USA Hockey or USA Archery or the Minnesota State High School League, where they actually have it in their own platforms. And then we do events, and we're starting to build out huddles, which are webinars for those organizations. And so we work mostly with organizations and they become organizational champions and everything's free. And we're trying to use coaching her as an in to an organization to help then build capacity and start to really change the DNA. And so we start with awareness. How do they grow awareness of just making it aware of what girls experience or women experience as coaches and how to get more women or all of that. And then we move on to activation. How do we activate? How do we start to like rethink how we do data? How we, why are girls leaving? What's going on? What is the environment like? And then we really get into integration. How do we start to integrate into policies? And that's what we're trying to do with the organizations. And we're trying to gather as many organizations and amplifiers who work in that same space together so we can all do it together and work together. Because it takes a team and a village.
It really does. I mean, I think you gave a stat that was like right around 50% of girls at the age of 14 quit sports. 50, a little bit, maybe under 50% actually quit sports at the age of 14.
Yeah, so it's a trajectory. So it's like 1 in 3 even start to participate when they're little.
Right.
A lot of it, a lot of parents don't recognize the value for girls as much as boys, even though girls get more out of sport than boys do. Occupationally, socially, emotionally, mentally, physically.
Thank you for explaining that. I was going to ask.
Yeah, and then when they get to middle school, when their confidence really drops, then it takes an impact. And by the time they're in high school, it's a really high rate. And this is why we're just seeing though a first uptick. I think 2023 might have been the first uptick of girls starting to go up in participation.
Awesome.
And I have to shout out to flag and some of the other sports out there that are doing it, because what flag does that so well is that it takes all body types to do flag. Be who you are.
What is flag? So like a lot of folks probably don't know what flag is. So give us a description on what that is and what the hell's going on and why that's helping out.
So flag is NFL flag football. It's a youth sport right now going into the high schools. I don't even know how many it's in states have it in high schools now. I think 6 months ago it was 21, so I'm guessing it's probably closer to 40 by now as a varsity sport at high school. And then they just are sanctioning it as an NCAA sport, so it's going into college. And it's run through the NFL flag, but RCX Corporation or RCX Foundation runs females in flag, and that's the girl side of it. And it's just booming. It's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I love flag football when I was playing it. After I was done with collegiate ball, I'm out there just having fun. I still hitting people though. I ain't gonna lie. I still hitting you, you know.
You don't need to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh boy.
It's fine.
A little aggression, right?
It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine some of my hockey girls. I feel like a lot of my hockey girls from the university would love to play flag football because they were fighting. They couldn't wait to fight on the ice. I'm sure they would love to. Oops.
I could imagine my own daughter. Yeah, she would really enjoy that.
Here you go. I don't need these flags. I just see red.
Contact. Here we go.
Yep.
We don't need helmets, girly. That's awesome. So this flag football is like a huge thing. What do you think is also on the uptick sport wise for like women? High school, like K through 12 girlies.
Well, wrestling is starting to grow. Volleyball is always on the uptick, and they're actually bringing it on the boys' side, which I love volleyball. I think it's just such a great sport. I'd love to see that happening. I'm trying to think what's up. Rugby.
You think the rugby?
Tennis is starting to grow. Pickleball.
Pickleball. Yeah.
I mean, those are growing sports. I think right now what's happening, hockey's on a rise too. The more unusual sports or like where they feel they can fit in here's what I would say about what's growing right now. It's the big sports like flag football is just such a cool opportunity, right? So it's just this new sport and it's a great opportunity for these girls. The other sports that are leaning in to girls' better environments are really winning. So tennis is doing well, pickleball is doing well, but and volleyball is doing really well, cheer is doing really well. And it's when they start to create these more inclusive environments, this is what the millennials and the Gen Z parents are demanding.
Yep.
So it might be in one state, it might be something different than what's going on in another state. And what we see not going well right now is basketball and girls basketball. And still, I think we're working with the junior NBA. We're working with some of the high school leagues trying to figure out how does that fix. That's a tough one because it has to do a lot with inner city schools, with people moving districts at high school and the AAU system.
Yeah, I believe that. You think the rugby has gone up because the girls getting the bronze in the Olympics? You think that's why it's gone up a little bit or no?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great sport and it's just trying to get that organized. But I think in Mar, is that how you say her name? I follow her on social media.
Oh, yeah.
She's like Alona, thank you. I am so bad with that's my dyslexia and spelling in my head. I'm not good. She's phenomenal. What she's single-handedly done.
Nuts.
Because she talks about body constantly.
All the time.
She's attacked constantly, and she's really honest and raw. And so many girls are looking up to her right now and jumping into the game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We had two of her teammates on. They were awesome. Steph Ravetti and Sammy Sullivan, both amazing, especially when talking about like just their different viewpoints when it came to just sports and life in general. But like you said, just talking about body and stuff like that. And like not everybody's body is going to be the same, especially when you play sports. Everybody's different. And that's the beauty of it, is that you get so many different people onto a team and different experiences, and that's what kind of brings everything together. But yeah, would love to have Alona on, but she is way too big for us.
Huge.
She's so cool.
She's awesome.
I think she's one of if somebody asked me who I could meet, she's definitely on my list.
Okay. All right. That's awesome.
All I could think about was like, who would I want to meet right now? And then my immediate thing was food. I'm like, I couldn't even, I just was like, potatoes.
Twinkie.
I
No.
literally just thought of potatoes. And I was like, I'm so fat.
Any type of potatoes or just potatoes?
There's food sitting out there. They're like scalloped potatoes and like just good chicken. There's some food waiting for me. I can feel it.
Nas is getting hungry. I
I'm
can
very
literally
hungry.
hear him
Someday.
salivating
I'm
right
hungry.
now.
I'm a well-fed boy. Okay. What else you got questions, boss?
Geez. So, when I worked at Rush Soccer and we were trying to promote coaching her, I hit some roadblocks because it felt like they were trying to like not push too hard on it. Why? I don't know. But the fact that we even got to get out some of the things on the newsletter or even for like on the website, lucky to do that. And so why I bring this up is because you must get a lot of pushback from companies that are trying, like they say they want to do something, but at the same time, they are kind of hesitant on actually like putting things forward or changing things. I would love to know, like, what is your process when you hit those roadblocks, and how do you keep going?
Yeah. So we are aware, since I've been doing this for so long, I assume that's what's going to happen. So that's our assumption going in. So when we go into a USA Hockey or a USA Lacrosse, we assume that's going to happen. We do welcome smaller local clubs, and they're the ones that are more engaged because somebody's leading it and they're super engaged in it, right? But when you're talking a bigger like governing body, it's hard. It's because the system was built by men for men. The rules were made, the clothing was made, the fields were made, the coaching education was made, the structure of the game was made. Everything was made by men for men, not a blame. I mean, that is just how it evolved. That's not saying that's wrong. What needs to happen now is we need to meet the girls where they're at, right? So that's a whole transition, and change is challenging and it's hard and it's scary. And we recognize that. And so what we've pivoted on really in the last like 6 months is, instead of like really trying to get organizations to step in and make a goal and they want to get 20% more girls playing and all this kind of stuff, what we're trying to work with organizations is we've simplified it so much, and we said all we want you to do in the initial stage is just grow awareness.
Yeah.
Be aware. Put out a press release, put these in your platform or direct to us. Get maybe a leader, that's somebody, a champion that it owns it, that takes control of it and that kind of oversees it. Look at your data and what you're collecting. Are you aware of what your numbers are? Like really, really simple awareness, because that's a very comfortable first step. It's not challenging anything, right? And so then we're going to start to move on to activation, because we know this is scary, and they just don't know what they don't know, and they feel like if they step in and they push girl stuff or they start to alter something, then it's not the same as boys, and then the boys are gonna, it's not fair to boys. But really it's not about equal, it's about equity, and our bodies are not the same as the male body. So let's think this through, and we're treated differently in society and we're raised differently in society, so let's recognize that. And that's why Emma Hayes, the women's national team coach for soccer, said we just basically need to blow soccer up, and there needs to be a whole different girls women's side. It needs to be designed for girls and women. We need to meet them where they're at. Like we just watched the movie, and as women and as girls, we're the caretakers. We're trying to do it all, and we're expected to be everything, and it's really hard to be, and we enjoy sport, but we maybe enjoy it differently, right? So my first experience coaching high school basketball, when I was raised playing with the boys, the first trip we went on the bus, the girls were singing songs and braiding hair and doing things I had never done before, just because we had that short hair back in the
You had the bob cut?
Had them bobs.
So bad. The perm and the short hair.
The perm? Damn.
I'll go back to the 80s.
You see a sucker suit?
Do you remember the big hair? The big curly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those
Oh, yeah.
terms. There you go.
Soul Glow.
That's
Oh,
us.
sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, but-
Little Jared curl. God, I'm
Oh,
joking.
God. Oh, it's just like that will never come back around, by the way.
No, that's dead.
I think it might be okay.
Yeah, but like coaching girls is different. And I learned that my first week of coaching high school girls basketball. I learned this, and I actually was aware enough, and I have to congratulate myself on that, because I was trying to coach like I had been coached, and I realized they were different, and it was okay. And I embraced that. And we went from 1 win the first season to 1 loss the second season.
Damn.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's that oh man. What's his name? The Indiana coach? Signetti? That's the Signetti effect.
Yeah.
Is it Kirk Signetti? I should know this being an Indiana person right now.
Should. You're in Indiana.
But that's Bloomington. I'm West Lafayette. That's different.
Oh,
I'm Purdue.
I'm Purdue guy.
I'm not Purdue. I don't care about that.
I know.
Michigan. But yeah, that's crazy. The girls must have been, the parents must have been freaking out.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I was so appreciative. And I had my son during this time. And when I played basketball in Sweden, the coach had a child as well. And he was married to one of the players, and he watched the little boy while he coached. It was really cool. It was really cool to see. But Sweden is #1 in family values in the world. So when I was in LA coaching basketball, the parents came in and they rotated. When my husband at the time was on the road playing hockey, they would watch him, my son. And it was great. They were just so appreciative. And then I had to actually give that job up because my husband at the time got traded.
The man always, I'm not going to swear. I'm trying to be professional. He's always going to get you. It's always the man. Always found a way, man. Mm-hmm. She did not say that.
Know you were white.
I don't know.
I didn't know you were white.
What you white, you know?
Could be a Latino black hockey player.
There's a couple black hockey players.
I want to share a really proud moment as a mom, though.
Please.
So my son is a hockey player, and he could have went to Europe to play, and he has a girlfriend, and she has a good job, and she's not ready to go to Europe. So instead of making her go and make it about him, he said, nope, I'll stay and make this small amount of money while you get established in your career. And when you're ready, if and when, we'll go to Europe. And I was like, oh, good.
That's how you know he was raised right.
He did it.
You know?
He did it. And one of them strong moms.
Oh, I mean, it made me so happy. Like, because it's, you do, like, especially women my age, and I'm trying to teach my daughter something different, right? But we were caught in that Gen X, we were caught in that in between, you didn't work and working and trying to balance that.
Yep.
And it was, I have many friends like myself.
Yeah.
So when you saw the girls like braiding each other's hair, just having a good ass time, they're getting all these losses. I know you like, you bitches, calm down. We just lost again.
You better let go of that hair. I swear to God. If I even look back and I see
swear
you
to
back
God,
braiding hair,
Rebecca, I swear to God.
you better stop singing.
Oh my God.
No, I thought it was the coolest thing ever because
That's awesome.
I never got that.
That is awesome.
Short hair, so
Okay.
Hey, I know we got to do whatever the hell we wanted on the bus. So I went to a predominantly black school. It's all black folks. And we're having fun, talking shit. These people playing spades, poker, like we're roasting, the music's on. But if we lost, you did not hear you didn't hear nothing the whole way. And if coach heard you laughing, he gonna kill you. And he was like NFL running back for the Packers. So it was a good ass time if we won.
Yeah.
If we won. So yeah, I don't know. We were braiding hair though. We weren't braiding hair.
You didn't have any. What the
fuck? I was bald and full beard in like 10th grade.
Braid the beard, you know?
Little perm beard.
Like a Viking.
I'm sorry, I had to make fun of that moment. That was an awesome moment. I'm also like, it had to have been like shocking for you, shocking in a good way, but also like moments like that make you think about your life. And I feel like that's when a lot of my clients, they go to college and like, oh, my family was not good. Oh, like, and I'm not saying that's your family, but they're like, oh, maybe this wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe this was abuse. Holy shit. Were we actually like super poor? Or, oh, now I'm at this all white school and I went to all black and brown folks. And that's when I start to figure out stuff was weird. And like, even me, I did my introspection when I went to college. I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't something's not like the rest. I don't know what it is. Y'all don't got PSTD? You ain't got ESPN? I didn't know what those terms were.
What the hell did that mean?
I just know you're not just sad.
You know how sometimes you're sad all the time?
Yeah, but you're a man, so you're just angry and violent. Yeah. Yeah. So was that like a moment for you when you're starting to feel some like child girl like fucking joy and you're seeing it and you're like, oh, I need to build on this. I need to go with this. I need to foster this. Because that's how I am now as a therapist and clinician.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could see the girls resonate with it. And then and they were wonderful. Like I got so much out of it too, right? But that's really start to resonate. And that's when I starting to speak up on equity. So like the boys basketball team had like a trainer and they got the right after school slot. And I was like, yeah, that's not okay. And then I started speaking up, but I not a ton, not like I do now where I don't care, right?
You don't stop talking now. Can't shut you up.
I'll push it. But I started speaking up, and the athletic director was really nice actually. And I realized this now is he liked that I was speaking up. He was struggling making the change because he had so much backlash, but he liked that I was speaking up, and he kept telling me to speak up. So that was really, I mean, I've had quite a few great men champions in my life.
Hell yeah.
Backed me up. And he was one of them. And it didn't realize that until way later in my life.
As I tell people, there's good people everywhere, man. There really is. I had someone the other day, and I thought it was funny. Everyone in Ohio sucks. I'm like, okay, be mad, but not everyone in Ohio sucks. Like, there's some good people around you. You need to go find your yoga friends.
I thought you agree since you're in Michigan.
I know. I kind of agreed.
That's your rival.
I agreed at first, but now I was like, let's be real. Like, that's not logical. There's great people there because you and your partner are there. You can find friends. So I'm glad that you said that. There are people that can be allies, great allies. Dope. Do you have any now that in your corner that, because the studies will show over and over that if you say something and a dude says it, they'll be like, oh, the dude, that's a great idea. If you say it, they're like, what? Who? But if the dude supports you and says like, hey, did you hear what homegirl said? That's some good shit. Do you have any allies like that now?
Yeah. Most of the men around me are that way. Most of the people around me are that way. I think the minute I got to the Tucker Center, which is the first ever research center on girls, women in sport, is 36 years old. It's kind of the global leader, the thought leader. The status I have with that, I have great allies. I think one of the coolest ones I've had was Jeremy Schlitz. He was the district athletic director in Madison, Wisconsin, and he was the district and a high school because there's 4 high schools there, and my kids went there. And he understood what I was going to grad school, and my son entered there, and so I did one of my classes was mentors in violence prevention. And you work with athletes on preventing sexual violence. And I said, hey, I need to try it on 4 teams. He's like, yep, bring it, come on in. And then he started he's like, anything I needed to do. He listened to everything I had to say. He respected, it was the coolest thing. Like, he was respecting everything I was saying and listening, which was rare at that point, like really rare. And he's the one that then asked me to step into the role as athletic director, which was HE it's just so, it was really, really rough, but I would never take it back. Never.
It's part of the purpose. It's part of the whole thing. You must have had to have gone through this shit to get to where you're at now. I mean,
yeah. So I had to fight there for equity. I had, we had, I think one year, 30 people on the track team. Our school was 2,400. And we had wealth and we had poverty, and they were making people, we didn't have any facilities. And so you had to take the city bus after school to get somewhere. And it would take, I calculated it out, and it would take 45 minutes to get somewhere, and then an hour and 45 minutes for those kids to get home. And parents, because culturally their parents worked at night, or they needed their daughters to to watch the kids, the siblings, it wasn't working. And I fought hard and publicly to get it changed, and I did. And we had, I think my third year, there was 120 runners on the team, and I think this year there was close to 300, which is a few years later. And we changed our softball structure to cancel Saturday games so those kids could work. And but he was an ally during that, but also I was very challenging to him.
Yeah.
But he respected that.
That's equity. In case people were wondering what equality and all that shit. Equity is like you cancel the Saturday thing so other folks can like work and make money. It doesn't have to be equal where everyone plays on fucking Saturdays. That's equality. Equity is making sure that other people have these opportunities to make money, to feed their families, and to participate in the sport that they love. You said that earlier, and a lot of folks don't know the difference between the two.
Yeah. And all it was really is I asked the girls. We weren't even going to have a softball team, and the girls were really worried. And it was my first year, and I was like, well, why? And so we started asking around, and they're like, one, they didn't like their coach. So we got a new coach, a woman. It was great. And second is the girls they needed to be home at, by like 6 o'clock on a school night to watch their siblings, the ones that wanted to play, who I was recruiting in the halls. And then they worked on Saturdays because they needed income. And so we bussed them to and from after school to their locations, and we canceled Saturday games. I called the rest of the ADs to tell them, and they were like, sure. And we had 2 full softball teams. We were the only school in the conference who had 2 teams, and we couldn't even, yeah. And I'm like, that's all it takes, people. Let's just meet them where they're at.
Try.
Ask them what they need.
Yeah.
Can't ask women what they need. They'll ask for too much. They want too much. Want too much. That's sarcasm, everyone that's listening. Swear to God. Spencer is like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Another podcast can't air. Just kidding. We are them anyways. I would, you just got done talking about having like these allies in all these different places. But you also talk about having mentorship and systemic change. So why do individual success stories alone not really fix the larger issue at hand?
I find it's just an isolating burnout is what it is. Like when you're an individual. I think one of the most powerful ways I suggest people make change, that they can make change as an individual, is to listen to somebody else. And then when you listen to that person and they're venting about something, so turn it and say, all right, so what do we want to do about it? What's the solution? I do not condone like kind of just vent, but venting is okay, but you really need to turn it around and say, all right, then what's the solution? And and then it's starting when you say that and that person's listening and they're like, oh, and then you start to think about it, say, well, I got you. Like, okay, I'll help you with this. And then you start to build a community. And the minute you build community, you build sustainability. It's kind of like if anyone's listening and they're thinking about like parents in sports, you get one parent who's super active and they rally and they build this team and they do it. And when that kid graduates or moves on or changes, everything disintegrates.
Yep.
That's not sustainability. That's being an individual trying to make change. And it's really not making change. It's just making an impact on a certain moment. So change really is about building community and making it sustainable and removing your ego and just taking the steps, and the steps work its way, right? If you're doing it going forward and it's not about you and it's not about the actual what you think the outcome should be, but like starting to move the needle, that's making change. And that's, I think one example would be like, I get a phone call. I have a brand. I get a phone call one day from this woman. She's an Irish national team player for soccer. She works in Wisconsin in the ODP. And she calls me and she vents for, I don't know, maybe it was an hour and a half. She was in an airport and she just went off about the Hall of Fame. There's no women, there's no this, this is what's going on through the state of Wisconsin. This is what's going on with soccer. And she just goes on. And I said, okay, I hear you. And, you know, and I'm saying, okay, I get it. And I'm just letting her vent. And I'm like, all right, so what do you want to see? And so she's like, well, I want to, you know, I think we need to do something and we should probably get a group together about Hall of Fame. We need to really advocate for this. And I'm like, okay, I've got, like, I'm with you. Let's do it. Like, what do you think our first step should be? And so she's like, well, I think we can do this. Within like months, we created the Wisconsin Women's Soccer Advisory Council. And so now we had with Wisconsin Youth Soccer. So now we've got the whole state involved. We're starting to hold conferences. We created the first women's only coaching clinic. We started to build all these new things that weren't around before. We were getting women inducted into the Hall of Fame. We were questioning how presenters at conferences, right? So women don't usually get asked or they don't accept. So we were recruiting and getting women to present. So they were more represented. We were changing the game and we were explaining it to organizations because they just don't know what they don't know. And it made a huge impact. And it was because I listened to this one person vent and then swapped it around on her and boom.
When you're telling these stories, how do you feel? How do you feel when you tell these stories? Like what's coursing through your body and your mind?
I feel pure joy and happiness.
I can tell
that things moved and that something so simple can be done, but also I can share this because it's so simple. I wish everyone knew that, right?
Do you reflect?
I have the courage to listen and I have the courage to turn it around and I have the courage to work with someone.
And grind, right? This shit ain't easy to grind.
No, it's not.
Do you ever sit back and reflect on this? Like the accomplishments and like cool things you've done and the women that you've helped fostered and the women that you're helping go to college and get educated, get great jobs, speak up and hold people accountable and to stop abuse and all these horrible cycles. I would assume that you think about these things, right?
I do. And I'm like, I know myself. I know my worth. Like, I know this, like I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say, like, I know this, and this is kind of what I bring to the world and I embrace it. I also know it goes unrecognized a lot because what I do is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't know. And I work with a lot of people behind the scenes to help them make change. And it's okay. Like, I know my worth and I know that. So I feel great on a day. Like you can see, I'm happy. I'm great. Right. And it's okay for me. I know there's others that would really struggle with that, but to know that this new generation has different experiences brings me so much joy.
Hell yeah.
And doing all this while also being a mom. Like,
oh, I forgot about that. She raising babies too.
You're also a mom.
Oh, you know what else I have going on right now? I have a 90-year-old father who has Alzheimer's and a 7-year-old mother who's going through her 8th chemo treatment and has dementia that we are taking care of, my sister and my oldest sister and I, because they're in Minneapolis. So I just read an article the other day about the daughter penalty, the penalty for being a daughter.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who end up taking care of the parents, but they're also the moms. And they have statistically found that women who don't have children make more money than women who have children. But every time you have a child, you make less. Like the gap is bigger. On the men's side, every time there's another child, they make more. It goes up.
No. Interesting.
I just read this article, so I haven't vetted the article. It was in like the Times or something, but I was like, I'm like, that makes sense. The whole daughter penalty.
Yep.
That's why I'm making no money. God damn it.
You need some babies.
Kids. I need some babies.
You need some baby boy. You need a woman too. You got one now.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Because she gotta make less then, right? So wait a minute. Away from the jokes. I had another affirmation and I lost it. Wait, no, we were talking about not being seen, not being represented, And then you start talking about this and this tax. Oh, there it is. Girl, who supports you? Who hugs you? Who comforts you? Please say someone. If it's even God, if it's God, I mean, I don't care if you're not related. My God, it's got to be someone. Is it a panda bear? Is it your kids?
My kids are fantastic.
Okay.
I will tell you, when I took that year off and I had applied for 120 jobs,
Welcome to
and
America.
and I had just been divorced, and I wanted to make it on my own. Really, I mean, just desperately want to make it on my own, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My kids are the ones who are like, Mom, you need to go back into gender equity. You are so good. This is who you are. They're the ones, and they're like my biggest cheerleaders. They're so great. But I do have a man who, thank fucking God. So he is fantastic.
Basketball player finally.
He is a tech nerd.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Pause. Shout out for
hey.
the nerdy guys
shout
that'll
out
do
to
you
the
good.
nerds. Always
Play
supporting
broomball.
emotionally.
I think you could talk about broom ball. I think he was badminton champion. He
Oh,
said
yeah.
gym class. So
Hell yeah.
Hey, badminton was
actually
the
pretty
shit
good.
in gym class.
It
I'm not gonna
was.
lie to you. That was the
There you
shit. Be like, wow, gotcha.
Damn. I
Hey.
I'm gonna just eat my taco over here.
Just have time.
I don't know.
Old
Pause.
Nas, Nacho Nas.
Nacho cheese Nas. Have you heard of goal ball that they had to invent for disabled folks that are blind? I think it's called goal ball. Have you heard of that?
I think I have.
Has like bells in the ball.
Oh yes,
right?
I've watched. Oh my gosh, in soccer. Yes,
It's so fun.
I've watched this and on YouTube. I'm fascinated by all things sports.
Oh, yeah.
So fun.
Not bags. That doesn't do it for me. But
Nah.
like, yeah, but like that was amazing.
So cool.
I mean, the talent. I can't like
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around how you would do that.
It's crazy, but it's cool. I love that you got excited. So you do have a partner that's supporting you. I assume you got a squad of friends, other colleagues that also support you and you can vent to, but also get shit done, or no? It's
Yeah, I mean, I moved to Minneapolis. My daughter went to school up at small D3 school up here, and she was going through some mental health issues. Her boyfriend broke up with her via text, calling her fat,
Ooh.
and she was going to follow him to tech school, which as a parent, you have to be really careful about what you say when you say it. And
Yeah.
I was really trying and having faith with the universe that that was gonna change that trajectory. I didn't want it done in this way, which I'm sad about, but she ended up last minute visiting St. Ben's and like, let's just go up there. Let's go see this small little school. And she was there and she's like, why not? Like, what else do I have to do? Let's just do this. And so she's like, but Mom, you have to live up here with your boyfriend, like at least stay. So I was half and half because my parents were still in Madison. So I kind of started to move up here. And then I took that year off and I was very isolated and it was hard.
Yep.
And I didn't have I have my best friend from college is here, but I didn't have anybody. And it's really hard to meet people at this age in a new city. And they call it Minnesota nice, but it's really Minnesota ice. And they joke about it. And I struggled trying to find people that I could connect with, and especially in sports. And so I joined some meetup groups of women, and I really wanted women. I have a ton of men friends. I've been in sports. I do still have a lot of men's friends, but I wanted some women, and I started to find some, which was great. And now I have just the most random, fun different groups of women. And of course, with work, I mean, that's awesome. And the women and men that I have met all across the world that I have connected with has been fantastic.
Hell yeah. There we go. I just want to make sure someone's holding you down too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was like, hold up
That
now.
is important.
I'm about to charge you for this shit though. This is therapy. Hey Spencer,
Every day.
what the hell's going with your camera? Why are you blurred
I
out?
don't know. I'm like, stop. All right, it's fine now.
You're like creamy.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Well-
Do you have the blur on by accident with the background?
No, it's just stupid right now. It's
Okay.
being dumb.
Maybe you
I'm
need
just
to
gonna turn
wipe it.
myself off.
You got finger grease on there?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
there it
finger
is.
grease. Yeah, I had to turn it on and off. Logitech.
Okay.
Shout out to y'all. blurring me. Looking like I'm a smudge. Anywho,
Couple more questions before we get into the show. These are fantastic things. Do we got a time limit with you, or do we need to wrap it up soon? Or we got time?
No, we've got time.
So before the show started, you talked about that you actually had therapy as an experience. What was that experience like for you? Especially when we talk about therapy in sports or just in general. Some people get apprehensive, especially when it comes to sports, because you're supposed to just, fight your way through it. But that's just not how it works. And so for you, what was your therapy journey like? And what would you say to people who maybe are, like I said, a little bit apprehensive to get into therapy currently?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, my journey, like through up to like 40, I have a sister who's a therapist, who does lots of really cool stuff. Like she used to travel with the Dalai Lama. She does a lot of energy work, and she works with a lot of famous apps and things like that. She was my therapist and helper for a long time. But as I moved through the divorce, or like knowing I was separating, trying to find who I was, and I started to have those panic attacks, she was really helpful and got me through that. And I can now fly on an airplane, which I couldn't do before, and drive at night. So after when I got divorced and I moved up to Minnesota, the very first thing I did was find a therapist, which was really hard because during COVID, I was just using who I could through the school system, and that wasn't working very well at all. And there was hard, you couldn't find one, and it was just, it didn't go well. And when I got here, I have two children who have had public mental health issues. My son he was at Harvard and had an issue, very public. He talked very publicly about it as an athlete, and then he transferred to Wisconsin. So I really believe in therapy.
Good.
When it's right for you, like when you're like, take the step. It's scary at first, right? But I went in and I was laughing the very first time because I knew I connected with her. And it was the first time where I was like, I think I found somebody like really that I really like. And I walk in, and it's just supposed to be like the intake day where you're going over kind of some stuff. And I sat down and I just lost it. And I cried for an hour and just like spill like everything. And it was like the best release. I just needed that more than anything. She hardly talked the whole time. And then after that, I just started going in, and I have a pretty good sense of self and understanding. And I knew like I'm in these moments where you're stuck and there's an end, you're going to get through it. But being in that space is so hard. And I think when you're in those really tough spaces, it's so great to have somebody just to talk to that's not your partner, and it's not your kid, and it's not your parent, and it's just somebody that's just neutral and listening. And wow. And I was going like once a week, and that was the best ever. And so I actually slowed it down now. So now I'm only about once every 4 months or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just to check in, see how I'm doing.
Yeah, you just gabbing, filling in on stuff.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, so I mean, it was really fantastic. And trying to find that, I think that's the hardest part, is just trying to find somebody you can connect with that's, I mean, open. We tried to find some for my partner's kids, and it's just, they've so overbooked. They're finally starting to have open time slots to get therapists. It's been our hardest challenge, I think.
Yep, finding people.
Yeah.
Totally. So it's a good career, if anyone's thinking.
Oh, it's definitely a good career. Mm-hmm.
Look at this room.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit. Great career. Now, after you open up your own business, it's a great career. You get treated like dirt when you're working for someone else, and you get paid like dirt. How do you know when you trusted them, or you could connect with them? What was the signs? Like me and Spence like to ask that, because our neurodivergent community, we're always looking to see and tell different genders, different races. Did they have something on the wall? Was it just the way they looked, or like you didn't care? You were just gonna go in there and just like, ah.
No, actually, I'm I have a I like to say I'm intuitive a little bit. And so I do look at their pictures, though the pictures don't always represent who they are. I look at their background. But for me, like as someone who has gone through so much and been through a divorce and raised children, and I wanted somebody that had some type of experience in that. So
Yep.
that was really important to me. And those aren't always easy to find. I mean, you're starting to limit like who, right? And who has availability. And then I kind of prayed on it, like in the sense of I'm not super religious, but more the universe of trusting and
Yep.
letting go and say, I really need this to, this is important to me right now. And I'm trusting that, we're going to find somebody that is right. And this woman, I tried to book with this one woman, but she was booked up and she sent me to someone in her practice. And I had written kind of what was going on in my life. And so I went in there the first time and it was like the energy between, like when I walked in, I could sense it.
Mhm.
And I just knew it. And I think that's why the release just happened. And then from that point on, and to come to find out, like she has a kid who has Downs, who I'm very big in the Downs community. My best friend has one who had a daughter who has Downs and is in Special Olympics. And actually she won golf for the state of Minnesota.
Oh, shit.
Boys. But so it was a good connection. She's got kids, she's got parents in the same situation, and she could relate to a lot what I was doing. And that was a really good fit for me. And that's kind of what I was looking for.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, like just gotta say, love your openness about everything. Like it's always great when we have guests on who are open about just like the struggles that they have in life, because at the end of the day, that's what everyone relates to when they listen to the show is the struggles, because people go through things and it's hard. And seeking help is also a tough one sometimes, because a lot of times people just are told to just suck it up and just keep on working, going through whatever you're doing. And it's good that when people actually want to get help, they seek it out and they find the people that really fit them. So just want to take that moment to say thank you. So when you were growing up and then you finally found out that, or at least you were, diagnosed with dyslexia, did any of you, like your friends, know that you had dyslexia, or that you had a troubled, like a time, like a really troubled time, like reading? And, if not, when you did open up to them, was that something that was like really freeing to you? And you felt like, man, this is like, I'm finally getting to be open. I don't have to mask this anymore.
I'm so curious what she's about to say because she's just giggling.
I was so humiliated and embarrassed.
Oh, whoops.
So it was like, I mean, I was that person in school who was friends with everyone, and I only had a couple of close friends, and I was scared to around, I didn't really kiss a boy in high school. Like I was scared. I was really into my sports. Sports was
I did.
right. So I just loved, did whatever I could to do sports. A lot of my friends were boys. They'd ask me to play basketball or tennis or whatever. I was just kind of this different kid, but still, I wasn't unpopular. I wasn't popular. I just kind of just was, and I did, and people liked me, and I was always nice, right? So but I was different, and I never knew why I was different. I have incredible spatial awareness due to my ADD. So I think that's a gift I get for in athletics, and multitasking. That's a great mom skill, by the way, with the ADD. But I think when I got diagnosed, it was really humiliating, and they went in. It was a 2-day of testing. You should read if you read my whole thing, it was like how angry I was that I was there. And they went into my teachers, and then my teachers didn't believe it. And they were kind of again, like, no, she doesn't. And I had been cheating my whole way through, completely cheating, which I don't do that, but cheating. And
only on my partners, only. Or wait a minute. We do not condone any forms of cheating on this podcast. That was sarcasm.
Thanks, Nas.
That
Appreciate
was
that.
Or murder. Or murder.
Oh,
I haven't said that in a long time. I just felt like saying that. It's been like a year. We used to say a lot of stabby things.
about it.
So I went to college. So I kind of whatever through high school got through. I didn't really use the resource. Got to college. There was at Wisconsin, they have a resource center for people with learning disabilities.
Yep.
I kind of got hooked up with that, but I denied it. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. And this is when you're in college, this is when it really was, I was struggling reading. It was really hard. I was trying to use advantage of the note taking and stuff every once in a while, but I had gone from like cheating to really hard to cheat. And so it was really hard for me. And I was young. I graduated high school at 17. I didn't turn 18 until the end of October. So I was young. And with my ADD and the dyslexia, I was a little younger. So it was a challenge. The atmosphere was very exciting for me, and I was trying to run track. And it was the third year of school. I think, yeah, third year of school. And I got on probation because I kept traveling around and watching my boyfriend at the time play hockey. That year they won the NCAA tournament. And then I left with him, and he went and played pro, and I left and became a model.
Model?
Yeah.
Alicia, what a life.
Wait a minute.
So I went there.
Let me copy paste his name real quick because I'm just lazy. Let me go look at them.
What the?
Can you subscribe to this?
Form of a publication were you in?
So I did runway and print. So anyway, so then I went
it's on my wall.
to
Sorry.
not anything. No, don't go there.
I'm not going there. I'm not going.
After the call, Nas. After the call.
I'll get your number later. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So then, so anyway, so I dropped out, and this is when then we ended up in Sweden, things like that. I gave up modeling, and we went to Sweden, and I kind of went back into school, and I studied over in Sweden. They let me do some independent studies over there on the family. And this is when I really started to learn that I have learning disabilities and what they are. And I called learning disabilities back then and what they are. And so I figured out what they were, and I figured out what that meant and who I was based around that and how I learned. And it was the best gift I ever gave myself. And I came back to school, and I kicked ass and graduated.
Yeah.
And I went on, and I took my GREs in a room by myself in time and a half, and like aced them. And I tell you, I had like a 17 on my ACT, like when I took it, and it's in high school. And then I went on and got my master's, and it was just a very different experience. But everything now, how I learn and how I see and how I prepare for things, because I now know how I learn, and I know how ADD and dyslexia impact me. And it's been super helpful. Not everybody gets me, and not everybody understands, and I say the wrong things. And again, my words, the way I think and see things, they don't come out right. And sometimes I don't, it's not, but my true friends and everybody kind of embrace it. My kids laugh at me and make fun of me, but that's my kids.
Okay.
That's their job.
So then would you say that you felt like going to Sweden, was it just like the culture itself, which just felt like a little bit more inviting than say your time like in Wisconsin and stuff like that, to let you open up and be like, okay, I finally accept this instead of just being angry at it now?
Yeah, I mean, part of it I think was growing up, right? I finally decided I was going to go back to school because I did want to graduate, and this is what I want to do. But it was also because I was playing basketball and I was becoming who I was. This is truly who I was. I mean, I love sport, every cell in my body. I mean, I love it. And so I was doing something I loved, and I was good at it over there. And it brought me so much joy that everything then was better. And I felt more confident, and because it was who I was getting to be, who I am.
And then the acceptance set in. And, the other day, I told a young girlie, I said, girl, you're disabled. She got mad at me. I don't know. I'm not disabled. I said, no. What the fuck are you talking about? No, you're disabled as hell. There's all these things, executive functioning that you struggle with and mental health that you struggle with. And we embrace this. It sucks, but you have to embrace this identity and accept it so we can move forward and strategically make sure that the disability doesn't get in the way of your daily functioning and your overall well-being. I'm not telling you to just accept defeat, but it's really hard for people to hear that. It's really hard for people to hear you got ADHD, you got dyslexia, you've got autism, and then they're like, oh my God, I'm going to pass it down to my kids. They start freaking out about like all this shit. I'm like, homie, you're just putting so many negative things on this thing. I'm telling you, we got to take it back a step because they hear these derogatory things, right? They hear the dyslexia and you're like, oh, I'm retarded. Wait a minute. That's some shit that you heard from someone else or my client. I don't want people to think I'm slow, right? That's being called slow hurts them. So it's really hard to get to people into that acceptance and now learning what their skills are and being equitable in the way that they teach themselves. So like, homie, you ain't never going to be good at this shit. Why are we devoting like tasks and energy to that? We need to focus on this, this, and this. It takes a long time.
It does. But I do think like my getting through it and processing it and understanding it, because it was, I mean, I was really angry and I really didn't want to be associated with it.
Yep.
I think of it as a gift because when something is working in not working as the same way as someone else, like in their brain, something else is working differently, right? So it's doing better. So like my spatial awareness, my multitasking, my ability to focus in on something and go super deep. There's certain things I can do that other people can't do. And so that's how I've gone with my life. Now, do I make a ton of money with it right now? No, but people could. People could. Like if I would have, if I that was my path. My path is really about equity, and I know I'm not going to make a lot of money. Not necessarily. Maybe I will someday. I don't know, but it's not about that. But knowing it and understanding it, I just think it's such a gift, and to use it that way. It did take a while to understand that, though.
Takes a while.
It took a while. And it's taking my daughter. My daughter's also like it's
Divergent.
there, right? So, and I know so many kids doing it, and you just have to let them. You have to let them understand it, like, and it's got to be on their time frame a little bit. Like you can give them the resources and things, and you try to help them along the path, but ultimately it's their choice and their decision as they move forward, which is hard. But at the same time, when it's like when you self learn and start to progress, that is the most impactful.
Yep.
Than if somebody makes you.
Spence, I got one question left. I don't know about you. What would be your advice for any young girlies that need help affirming themselves, whether it be athletics, whether it be body positivity, whether it be educational, whether it be dealing with a disability? Like, what would be your advice for a middle school, high school girlies? I know. And then like whatever you would, and then maybe it's like stuff that you would want to say to your younger self, but I assume like that younger self is in a different like time frame. So what would it be? What would pause? Me as a grown ass man working with the divergent young women, a lot of marginalized women, what should I be working on or be paying attention to? And then what would you say to the girls? So how would you coach me up, and then how would you coach them up? And then I'll be good for the pod. We can move on.
I mean, the hardest part is
it doesn't have to be super wise either.
No, I like the biggest impact when I look at it, when I look at like my daughter, who's she's BIPOC, and her experience is so different than mine, and her friends, and my partner's kids, daughters, same thing, right? There's not much I can say to them other than I talk positively, right, as much as I can. It's the role modeling that I do, which I think is so impactful. I think of times like when my daughter and my daughter's friends and my partner's kids see me speaking up and making change and doing things and And at the
Fighting.
same time being vulnerable, saying, that this is scary. Or I remember the first, I didn't do that. Or I tell stories about, my very first time of speaking up. It's actually when they see it and they see me as a human and as somebody who can be confident, that's the most impactful. I think like when my daughter was in 7th grade, I was already like, had a brand. And I remember one day I was in a parking lot and pulling up to hockey, and all of her teammates came running over to me and they're like, Alicia, Alicia. And I'm like, what? And they're like, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you, you're gonna freak out. And I'm like, what? And one of the girls said, well, I went to our 7th night overnight trip and we were doing something. And then at the end of the night, they split the girls up to make newspaper dresses and the boys got to go out and play sports. And I'm like, oh, but I try not to overreact, right? So they're looking at me, how am I going to react in this? And I was like, oh, and I was like, well, how did that make you feel? And they expressed their emotion. And she was like, oh my God, and this and that. And I'm like, well, what would you think? What would be the right, like, what do you think should happen? And she's like, well, there was tons of boys that wanted to make the dresses and there was tons of girls that wanted to go out. They should, and she's explaining this whole thing. And I was like, okay. And the girls are all just like looking at me and then they're piping in. And I said, well, what do you want to do about it? And she's like, well, it's got to change, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do you want to say something? Like, do you want me to help you say something? And she's just like, ah. And I'm like, would you like me to say something? And she's like, could you? And whatever. And I said, listen, I will. They're in 7th grade. I'm like, I will. So of course I did. And they actually changed it. And when I do make change, by the way, this is a side note, always I explain how the kid felt, the experience, what the consequences are, and what multiple solutions can be to change it, because people get defensive if you don't offer the solutions. So anyway, they changed it. And I came back to that team and I explained what I did. And I said, by you speaking up right now, you just made change on your whole entire 7th grade and all the other 7th graders coming up after this.
So role modeling.
The confidence those girls had, like, and then it just grew. And this group of girls they're so powerful right now. But it's, they're learning their power. They don't always get it right. But to me, that's more impactful as a woman, is to really be that role model and constantly talk the positive and listen to how they're feeling and acknowledge that they're feeling that way. But I also tell coaches, this is when you also, when inequities happen in sports, don't hide it. Let the girls say it. Let them say what they see, and then ask them about it. Because it happens all the time, whether it's ice time or field time or locker rooms or whatever, and then ask them what they want to do, and it start to empower them to start to be confident. And that changes who they are. And then that changes their confidence in what they can say, which is a lot of girls lack that confidence of speaking up and leading, and then start to learn what their leadership skills are, because not everybody has the same leadership skills.
Got it. Got it. I'm putting it in. You said ask and listen and shit, so I'm doing it,
I'm just doing what you said.
I'm doing what you're doing, No, that was perfect. Yeah, I do my best to empower a lot of women. And I use this thing that was said to mock women. I raised a lot of them to be nasty women, to fight back, to question, to not shut the fuck up, to advocate, to take, because the men take. So my girls damn right are going to take. And Spencer knows I use a lot of shit talking. And so there's going to be shit talking in our therapy because I'm getting them tougher, but I'm also going to love the shit out of them. And we're going to mirror good emotions and compassion, and my ass will cry here and there. But also, what are we going to do? What are we going to get? How are we going to fix this shit? Because I'm not just going to sit you and let you vent. We have to make change. You're not just in therapy. There's people that just like to vent, yeah. and they're not actually clients. They're just passengers. They just want to come hang out, but they're not actual clients. And I'm not in that business. I'm here to make change and change people's lives and save people's lives. So yeah, got it. I'm doing the things that you said. I just wanted to make sure I'm doing the right shit. So I might as well consult one of the grand poobahs of women right now, making sure I'm on target with this shit. The Dalai Lamas of women sitting in front of us.
You are the women.
You speak for all the women's.
You speak for all women
All women.
in the world.
All of them. Mm-hmm.
They'll appreciate that.
Yep, stamped. They'll appreciate that.
That's
My God. Who did bitch nigga you? That Spencer said, you've done so much, it's wild. I'm just like,
I know.
the ADHD will get you to do shit though. It'll lock you in.
It can.
Yeah.
I track you, but it can lock you in. As some people say, shiny object.
That fucking UFO?
Squirrel?
Bro, one of my clients, small, random ass tangent. You ever heard of the Hat Man?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, you're lucky. So some people with ADHD or divergent or autistic or sleep deprived, or if they're taking certain drugs, they will see this shadowy figure called the Hat Man. You can Google it later. It has like the trench coat, bowler hat, and it's a phenomenon that many people have seen. So my client had sleep paralysis. It's real shit, bro. And my client was like, hey, I had sleep paralysis the other day. And sleep paralysis is when you wake up, when you're in your REM sleep and your body is still like completely paralyzed. And so people, they can't breathe and like they will freak out. And people will normally see like a cat sitting on their chest, or they'll see the demonic figure or the Hat Man. So the client was telling me that. And then they told me this story about the first time they ever saw the Hat Man. This is a grown ass woman now. This grown ass badass fucking running a hospital girly. And she started telling me the story when she first saw the Hat Man when she was a kid, when the lights all shut off in the house and shit. I kid you not, Spence. I was in my room shivering, terrified. As soon as that session ended, I just went in my dad's room and sat down on the floor. I'm like, I can't be alone.
So why'd you tell us? What the fuck, man?
Bro, the Hat Man is for real. And he
You're
comes,
lucky you don't
I'm not
know, so now you know.
I'm not going down that path.
girl, the Hat Man,
Please stop.
he not going to do nothing, but he going to be there.
Hey, just so you know, if you see a shadowy figure, be scared.
You know I'm calling you tomorrow if that
Girl,
that happens.
I hope to God it's not
It's
happened.
gonna happen.
I had my door open. That's the bathroom door. Nope. That one over there.
Almost.
And I had it open for the first time ever doing like therapy in this room. And it was so dark in there. And I'm like, I was terrified to look back. Because if I saw a fucking shadow when I looked back, I was going to die. Yesterday was wild, bro. It took me an hour to calm down.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing the anxiety over here, jackass.
For sharing that.
I didn't even share the real story.
Hey, here's a nice story for you about a demon. Like, okay,
The light shut
great.
off.
Thank you.
The kitchen light came on while her her mama was praying.
Doing.
And
All
the
right. Anyways, bad mom.
Terrified.
So,
Bad
we're
mom,
gonna
the
do
Hat
this
Man.
real quick.
Let's do it. Pivot.
Real quick. Bad moms. All right. So, start Mila Kunis and Hat Man. So we have this first scene where we talk, like, she is just going through her day and she has so many things that she's doing, right? Multitasking, has to balance a career, has to do, have to make sure she has a little bit of mental space, and she does Zumba, and, just doing everything that moms do, which is everything, while also, caring for these kids. And so, hearing from you, I'm assuming that you really relate to these things, just balancing everything, or trying to balance everything, while also just making sure that you raise your kids right. And for you, is this movie something that just like, it just speaks to you? Like, this is like your movie? Like, Alicia Pelton, bad mom.
It does. Even though I'm with you, I'm with it.
We'll ask a child tomorrow.
Yeah, even though I was in a relationship for when my kids were growing up, I was still like, you're doing it all, and it's that mental load, right? It's the effort, the care, the leadership, everything, the problem solving, but also, like that same thing happens in sports too. And that was my experience, not just in the home life, but it was also in my career life. It was the same thing, and sports really bad. And you just don't get that recognition, right? You don't get those leadership roles. You're not valued. You don't get any influence. It's you're not seen and you're not valued. And it's so hard. And this is when you realize that you're taking care of so many other people. And that's what society has for you to do, is to take care of everybody else. And you don't take care of yourself. And that's not okay.
How do you specifically, so not all the women's, but how did you handle all these responsibilities? So you did it, and we know you did it, and you did the best of your ability, but how the fuck did you do it? Like, I know you said the ADHD helped you, but like, is it just like,
No, you just like, I was so happy to be a mom too. So I mean, I loved being a mom, and not everybody does to the extent in which I do, and that's okay. But you just do it. You just do it. I mean, I had a mom who had 4 kids who just did it. And that's my role model, right? And then all the other women around me that I saw, my friends' parents, same thing, all their moms, same thing. The only women that I knew that were professional were either teachers or nurses. So I mean, my role models were that. So I just did it, and you just do it and you get it done. And we didn't have a lot of money. So I had, like, if you were the coach or the manager, you got discounted to take on that role. So, and I sent my kids to a Montessori school because of the learning disabilities. I was thinking they might have them, right? So it would be a good spot. So so I was teaching there PE because they were giving me either free education or I got discount. Like, so I was just juggling everything and trying to figure out who I was at the same time. You just do it. I don't know. I lost who I was so many times. At least I always had my toe in sports. Maybe not the roles I wanted, but at least that made me happy. So I was coaching, I was working at a club, I was teaching, not where I wanted to be necessarily, but still in a space that I enjoyed.
Isn't it just funny just how like invigorating sports are? Like, I get to do like brand ambassador work for like Minnesota United. Gonna do like guest services stuff for like the Twins. And I just love just the fact that you get to be in sports. And no matter what it is, I actually got to go to Buck Hill yesterday and take photos of our mascot, PK. Like, like I get to do that for work. And it's just amazing. And it's something when you're just in sports and you just want to stay in it for the long term, because you're not going to, like in any other profession, sometimes it feels like you're not going to have that same feeling like you do when you're just in sports. So
I think sport is
really,
a great unifier, right?
oh yeah.
So like when you're playing on a team, those are your teammates. That's your family. I mean, my daughter's had a tough experience, but she doesn't want to give up her team because that's her family, right? So she'll fight through anything to stay with her family. And that's the same with me. Like sport is like anybody can play. If you can play, you don't have, you rich, poor, anything. Like you come together, you play. And to me, that is like an incredible gift to society needs more of.
Yeah, totally.
unifies a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. I love people watching at games and just watching everyone like not hate each other for once and just everyone cheering for the same thing. And you're just like, look at this, everybody happy, everyone's drunk, just chilling. So peaceful.
I challenge you to go to as many different types of sporting events as you can, because that is where I find so fascinating right now. If you go to a Minnesota Frost game, a Lynx game, you go to a Stinger, which is ultimate, start a roller derby, start the demographics of the people and how they resonate with that sport and how wonderful that community is. Different than if like it's a little different than like a Timberwolves game or a Bucks game, right? Or a Vikings Green Bay game. But some of the other sports, it's amazing to watch people watch there. Like it's a really cool experience. I enjoy doing that.
Totally. And shout out to all the women's sports teams in Minnesota. I mean, like for real, like, and we're getting a volleyball team too. So can't wait for that. But yeah, Minnesota Aurora, Frost, Lynx. Stingers. Like it's just amazing that Minnesota is like really becoming a huge hub for women's sports. It's amazing to see. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
when it comes to this, that second scene that we looked at right now, we starting to see her dealing more of that like burnout. So I assume that was more of a reverberation of you taking the time off, or is that more just you just always burn the fuck out and you're always stressed out and your dog got vertigo and you know you done crashed your car and the police after you, and so there's just always just chaos as a mom.
Yeah, and I think part of it is living in someone else's world that they're making the rules, right? So as a female whose society puts all this pressure to multitask, or it's a woman in sports, right? Or just women playing or girls playing, that's sport that's been defined by men, and not in a bad way. I'm not saying that, but like you're in somebody else's game and you just burn out and you don't, like when experiences aren't valued, you just don't feel like you belong. And I think that's why girls quit sports. You're not belong because it's not made for you and you're not being treated that way. So, and they have different expectations. I mean, and it's different. So I think that's my big thing for me is I reached that point where I said words that I probably can't say on air, where I just reached that point and I was like, I had no more. And I'm going to make a difference and I'm going to change and I'm not doing it this way anymore. And I'm going to use my voice and explicitive wording now, but that's
Don't you do it.
Don't you ruin those sponsorships.
Don't you ruin it, girl.
No, but you did. And that was I would have to say for like 4 years of my life, I would swear and be like, I don't care anymore. Like I'm done. Like
yep.
I'm going to be, and it is kind of a thing for women our age.
The swearing or the burnout? Both.
The burnout, both. And just all of a sudden you just don't care what people think about you anymore. And you're done.
Done.
That's true.
Yep. Especially for neurodivergent women. What'd you say, Spence? Go ahead.
My mom cusses like a sailor. Let me tell you, she's like, fuck. But and then it goes back to what you said, is just that, daughters, they become those like caretakers and stuff. And my mom had to go through a ton of caretaking, not only with her dad, with her mom, with her uncle, aunt, and her other uncle. And it's like, man, it's like you've seen so much bad shit that's like, how are you even like functioning right now? So I always shout out my mom and stuff like that because she's just an amazing woman. And so glad to have moms around because they get to do a lot and say a lot of things. So yeah, thanks.
So I know, I feel that. I saw that, Spence. Look at Spence having emotions right now.
I know.
Salute. Cheers. That's when you drink when you get ready to cry.
One other thing that when that scene is that women policing other women. I think that's a big thing. Again, especially in sports, you see it in the business world a lot where they're not turning around and helping the women behind them. They're fighting so hard to get that spot and they just forget and they think everybody should fight that way. And they're playing by the rules that are created, not for them. And that needs to stop. And
Thanks.
Yeah, that is that. And I think it is changing, but it still exists. I still run into it.
Oh, I'm sure. It's the same thing with like folks of color. They say not all skin folks are kinfolk. So the same thing can go with gender as well too.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of the girlies will feel that, right? It's very cutthroat and a lot of when you're trying to move up in administration or whatever that role is. I saw something. I think both of you will like the story, or maybe you didn't. I hope you did see it. There was the coach of the Jags in the NFL. I think his last name is Cohen, and there was a woman, black woman reporter, that was affirming him on how he did. And he said, I don't know, did you see it, Alicia, or no? The whole clip? It's like
pretty great.
A 2-minute clip. And a lot of people shit on her. A lot of people hated on her for doing what she did. Instead of asking a question, she took like a 2-minute like grandstand to like affirm him. And I was like, man, ain't nothing like a woman's love and nothing like a black woman's love, man. She was like, young man, I just want to let you know that you did so good this year as this team and the whole city supports you. You should be proud of yourself. And then this is a great fucking dude. I literally started crying.
Yeah.
And then you just see the coach. He just lost in the playoffs at the last second to the Bills.
Yeah.
And he's just like, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And then you finally see him like, thank you, ma'am. It's like fantastic. I challenge you to go watch it later. And you're just like,
yeah,
fucking women are awesome, man. Just breathing life into people that just had one of their worst moments.
Yeah, I think sometimes society forgets that that's real and that we've defined the rules of what, like what media is supposed to look like after the game. And who defined those rules? Right? So what she did is great. I mean, it's like honoring the woman in the Hall of Fame. And I've challenged it so many times. Like I did this to hockey where they're not putting any women in. They're saying they're not, they don't have as many accolades. And I'm like, why are we not honoring a woman who maybe sacrificed all of this time to hand sew the jerseys for this team that won the championships? She never got to play hockey, so she can't coach it, but she did all this other stuff. Shouldn't she be in the Hall of Fame? Like, there's we rethink, right? Like, rethink our award systems. I think that all the time. At high school, we created 4 different awards, and they were character awards, and they were about overcoming and making it through the season. It wasn't about whether you were the best player on the team. Is like maybe you had all this stuff going on in your household, but you showed up for practice and you made it through the season and you did all the stuff with character and intent and like you got through with your grades and everything. That deserves an award because you kicked ass that season. Like rethink.
Talking like a true therapist, but maybe you're not talking like a therapist. Maybe you're talking like a fucking mom. I'm talking like a mom. I'm momming a bunch of these babies.
Yeah.
Yep. I say it all the time. I said, you're going to make it through this and then you survive through all this shit. And then my kids always say, well, that's because I was just supposed to. I'm supposed to do this. And I always get so fucking mad when they say that.
Yeah.
And then today I turned it on one kid. I said, maybe you were supposed to get through this. So you always bet on yourself to lose, but you were always supposed to get through this. And then she was like, fuck you, Nas. She actually swore at me. I'm teaching her to swear more.
Yes. Swear.
I'm going to borrow that.
Yeah, because she always says like, that's just what I'm supposed to do. Well, you were just supposed to get a fucking PhD. No one just does that. It's less than 1% of the nation. You were just supposed to do this, and don't give me that shit. But then I flipped it on her today. I was just randomly sitting there thinking, as after I told her thank you because she's taught me to be a softer man with her specifically via text as well too. I suck at texting, obviously, dyslexia, and I can be kind of nasty on that by accident. And she's taught me to be softer and kinder and not just be an angry dude all the time and just be teasing. Kiddo sent me a reel the other day. I said soft, and they were like, "What the Nas?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, baby. I'm trying." I just want to thank you for coming on and shout out to Spence too for making sure that this happened and making sure that we're having fantastic women in representation in women's sports as well on this podcast. Thank you, Spencer and Alicia.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alicia. Like some of the best interviews that we get to have are ones where I wish that the conversation could keep on going. For real. Like those are the best ones. And you were definitely in there. So just want to thank you for all that you do. You're moving mountains. It may seem like it's a slow move, but it's moving, right? So you're doing all these things, and the people that are helping you do that, they need to shout out to. But yeah, anything that you want to do for, you want to shout out anything, coaching her, do socials, get people to follow.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to make sure to collaborate and tag coaching her on here. But if there's anything else that you want to kind of throw out there, I would do it now.
Well, you can check us out at coachingher.com, and we welcome any organization to be a champion. It's free, and to be an educational champion, we have content for education, like instructors, supplemental for their coaching classes or whatever they want to use it for. But yeah, and I love having conversations. So I welcome anyone to reach out if they have any issues or they're interested in anything or they want to be part of anything. I'd love to have that conversation. I'd love to learn. I'd love to help, and I'd love to build community and connection. So yeah, welcome anyone to check us out, and then reach out if they want to further the conversation.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Once again, thank you, Alicia Pelton, for coming on the show. I'm Spencer. That's nice. Different Spectrum Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love, and remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you. Peace.